Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Jordan.
And I'm Juanita.
And welcome back to another episode of Love Does Cost a Thing.
It costs everything, baby.
Man, you already know. Look at the title, y'all. Divorce is not hereditary. Mm-hmm. It doesn't run in your blood. It's not in your DNA. So today's episode, we're going to talk about how to get over the hump of the fear of divorce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There are tons of people who are afraid to, for lack of a better term, pull the trigger on getting married because somebody in their family got divorced.
Yeah.
You saw this beautiful match made in heaven couple, and you thought that they would last into the end of time, and even they got divorced.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to talk about how to get over the fear of taking the risk of marriage. Mm-hmm. I think that it's first important to acknowledge, look at me going first this week. I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that getting married is a risk.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
There's risk involved. Mm-hmm. It is risky. Mm-hmm. Okay? But wait until they hand you the bill for not taking the risk. Wait until you live your life and wish what it could have been if you never got married.
Yeah.
Wait until you turn 75. I remember seeing this clip of this man who was sharing one of his biggest regrets. And he was like, I don't have any children. I don't have any grandchildren. Basically saying, I don't have any legacy. I don't have any family. And you could look at it and be like, well, you know, like, it's not all about him. Sure, he could have lived a good life and did other things, right? But family is generally what fulfills you. Mm-hmm. Don't get it twisted. Your relationships are generally what fulfills you in life. That's what makes things more meaningful. Not always. Right? But get back to the first point. There's risk involved.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. You do need to make a wise decision on who you marry. Because you can, unfortunately, marry the wrong person.
Yeah.
Right? But even if things, you know, don't start off as hot, things can change.
Yeah.
So let's keep going on that. I want to share a little bit, and then I'll pass the mic to you. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know who Cam Newton is, okay? Cam Newton, I don't know if he's an Hall of Famer. I know he won the Heisman Trophy. Famous football player. I think he went number 1 overall in his draft year. Nevertheless, he was a really good football player, and now he's like an entertainer, podcaster, commentator, things of that nature. And he was just on an interview with Mr. Jason Wilson, who is a man of God, and it was I would say, a normal conversation for, you know, strong men, but some people, you know, may have challenges having such candid conversation. And there came to a point in the conversation where Mr. Wilson was asking Cam about why he's not married. Cam has a handful of children, and I think multiple mothers of the children. I want to be respectful.
Yeah.
And I think he was asked, like, why didn't he get married? And Cam expressed the idea of what we're talking about, like the fear of getting divorced. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, like, why? But then it hit me because Cam is super duper rich, you know? I think for a lot of men, especially that are well established financially, I've even heard the rapper Lil Baby say, I'll give you a $10 million ring, $10 million wedding. I ain't signing no papers, right? I'm not going to legally get married to you for the fear of basically getting played or somebody like duping them. So I want to be clear. There's absolutely risk involved, and there are people who unfortunately do play the game like that. So there's risk involved. So let's talk about some practical steps in how to make a wise choice in who you marry. For those that maybe are afraid of having to go through a divorce, whether it be because of money or, I don't know, just a poor relationship experience. Let's talk about that, how to get over the hump, how to get over the fear. What do you think? What's one of the first things you think, Juanita?
I mean, I think the first thing is just acknowledging that your future is based on your actions.
Yeah.
And knowing that there's nothing that's gonna like inherently stop you from like getting a divorce outside of like the choices that you and your spouse decide to make, essentially.
Yeah.
So like just because your grandmama and your granddaddy got a divorce and then your mama and your daddy got a divorce, like, doesn't mean that you are going to necessarily like have a divorce.
Sure.
Typically what happens is that your mama and your daddy saw what your granddaddy and your grandmama did, right? And then they kind of followed in those same footsteps. They had those same type of actions that then led them to divorce, if that makes sense. And so the idea, I love that Jordan says that it's a risk, because I would like to bet that 9 times out of 10 people don't get married to get divorced.
Sure.
Meaning, when they go down the altar, when they say their vows, they're not thinking, oh, one day I'm just going to get divorced, if that makes sense. But sometimes something changes, right? And so I think the risk comes because you may have an idea and you may say to yourself, okay, to death do us part, and you may honor your vows, and your spouse may feel that way, and then one day they don't.
Yeah.
Right? And you have no control over that. And so I think, one, recognizing that you have the power and whether or not you're going to get a divorce, especially if you believe, or whether or not you get a divorce, especially if you believe in Jesus, because there is like a protocol that you can follow. For example, like if my husband and I are not seeing eye to eye, like I can pray for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I can pray and ask the Lord to like help him and to soften his heart and to be able to see like my point of view, or vice versa. Versus like kind of outside of the will of the Lord, you don't really have anything to like call on or to like
lean on.
Yeah, like to be able to cash in, to be like, oh, I can put my trust in this thing or this being or this person in order to know that, like, you know, my marriage is in the right hands, basically. Sure. So I think a practical step is to talk about the word before you get married. I think that's important. Like, what does that word mean to you? Like, is that an option? I know for Jordan and I, like, we were adamant. Divorce is not an option.
Yeah.
That's not a topic of discussion. Like, and I mean, like, that's not ever something that, like, we're going to bring up. Not that we didn't talk about divorce, but, like, that's not something that is going to be a way out or a solution for us. And so we knew that that meant for the both of us that we was going to exhaust everything.
Yeah.
All of our options. Like, you know, because there is no other way, basically.
Yeah.
Like, we have to make it work. And so if you are dating someone or you're engaged to someone and you guys are talking about, like, oh, you know, like, how do you feel about divorce? Like, is that something you're open to? Because some people use that as a caveat. Some people say, like, oh, here's my, what is it called? Like that thing that people say, like, oh, like,
non-negotiables?
No, not that. It's like the thing that, like, will cause
deal
you.
Breaker.
Right, there we go. Where some people say, like, that's my deal breaker, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, if you cheat, like, that's it, basically. Or, like, if you, I don't know, waste all our money, like, that's a deal breaker for me. Like, so if your spouse is saying that, then you know that there's a door open. That they're thinking that divorce is a possible way out.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so those are some practical ways that you can be like, is it something I want to continue with? And it doesn't mean just because they say that you say, like, okay, we're done. Especially if you feel like this is the person God has called you to be with. But it's more so like, let's talk more about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not really something that we should be entertaining, because why? Like, why would we give ourselves a way out when we can figure it out, basically? Yeah. And I think that's the thing that people don't recognize. It's like, statistics actually prove that, like, if you spend time with someone, like a whole day with somebody that you don't even like, by the end of the day, you're going to like each other.
Yeah.
Just because you're spending time with them.
You're going to find some common
ground.
ground.
So people always say, like, oh, I fell out of love with this person, or like, it just didn't work anymore, or like, we're better off as friends, or better off as co-parents. And I'm like, well, if you're good co-parents, you probably could be good husband and wife.
Probably.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're good co-parents, that means you're being respectful, you're honoring, like, you're communicating.
Sure. Y'all finding common ground.
Why not within your marriage?
Y'all sacrificing.
Now, that doesn't mean that, like, here's the thing though. It all starts at the beginning, because I've also heard some people get married and say they knew they shouldn't have been married, or they knew they shouldn't have married this person.
Oh,
and
can we talk about that?
And so, no, like, it's real,
yeah,
right? And so when it comes to stuff like that, like, unfortunately, it does end in divorce because you already knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about people who already had a way out before you even got started.
Yeah.
Before the way was even made, they already was out the door. Like, that's not what we're talking about.
Man.
We're talking about two people who genuinely say to themselves, there is no other way.
Yeah.
Like, you should know that you have the capability to stay married as long as you are willing to put in the work. Period.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because Juanita said this months ago. Man, believe who they show you they are. Did I say that correctly? Believe who they show you.
Mm-hmm.
Believe the version of them that they show you they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Don't think it's going to get better.
Yeah.
Don't marry them for their potential.
Right.
Don't marry them for their potential.
Right.
You can go on a date.
Right.
You can figure it out.
Yeah. But if I marry you today and you never change, am I okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hold on, y'all, because this is about to be super controversial.
Mm-hmm.
This might have, if this was like the 70s, 80s, and we were like in a church setting, this might get our church canceled for saying something like this. It might.
In the 70s and 80s? Who's going to get canceled?
Yes. What I mean is, like, this would be taboo to say.
No, I understand.
Because people, even if you have a baby together, because people will push you to get married for the sake of doing it the right way.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The baby already here. Mm-hmm. The baby. Mm-hmm. I'm not condoning.
Right, we understand.
Yeah. I hope they do.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, y'all, like, the character of the person is the most important aspect when it comes to who you're choosing to marry.
Yeah.
Okay? If there is an unwillingness to work it out in your courtship, in your dating, in your engagement, do not marry them.
Right. Right. Right.
Don't get married.
Right.
Hold on. And don't hold your life up. Don't be a fiance for 12 years.
Right. Yeah, I think, I know, I was about to say, like, that's it right there. Like, I think that, and we have talked about this before in a previous episode of, like, holding on to the idea of what you think they could be.
No, we don't marry potential.
Yeah, because, like, you don't know who God has for you.
Oh.
You know, when you're holding on to that thing where he's telling you, like, to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's that little picture I think about where, you know, he's trying to take the small teddy bear and he has the big one behind his back. And you're like, but I want it. And you have no idea how much more he has for you.
So good.
Because you're focused on that little bitty thing that you think is the best thing that could ever happen to you. And I'm a witness. Like, I remember, like, dating someone and being completely in love and had all these kids' names picked out, and I just knew he was going to be my husband. And the Lord said, leave. Kids' names, okay? I mean, it wasn't just because of him. It was just like my own kids' name that I wanted, you know what I'm saying? And I just thought, oh, but he's going to be the daddy, so I put his last name on it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I was like, so the Lord told me to leave. And I'm like, you can't possibly be talking to me.
You ain't talking to me, Big G.
Because, like, this is my husband.
This is him.
You know? So I left, and then I came back.
And then she met your boy.
Listen, we're not at the point yet. I left, and I came back, and the Lord said, didn't I tell you to leave? And I said, you right, actually, because I did not listen the first time. So I'm really deuces. I'm really going to get up out of here. And
brown in there.
And yes, and I waited for some time, so I didn't just meet Jordan, but I was on my journey to finding my husband and finding myself.
I see.
And so I was recovering from that relationship and all the things that the Lord was trying to work out through me. And I remember talking to the Lord and saying, like the next one is going to be my husband. Like, I'm not willing to put my all into something again and it be nothing. Right. Yeah, and when I met Jordan, it's so funny because everything that I like enjoyed about that person, my husband had, but like in a different way, and like 10 times better, holier, like everything just like better basically. And so if I would have never let that go. Like, I think about it from time to time now. Like, I'm just so grateful that I trusted God enough to let go.
Yeah.
And I just feel that strongly. Like, somebody just needs to trust God enough to let go. Like, I know you think that you know what it looks like, or you think you know that what it feels like, or you're saying to yourself, this is the best it can get. But I'm telling you, like, God talks about doing exceedingly and abundantly above what we can think. And so if you can think it, if you can fathom it, it ain't God.
Yeah.
He wants to do more than that.
Yeah.
Far more than that. And so you just have to get to that place where you trust him enough with your life to know that, like, if he created you, like, he created your spouse. And if he created you, then he has a future for you. He has a plan for you. He tells us that in his word as well. And so you have to be able to trust him enough to be like, okay, I don't see it. I don't feel it. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Let me jump in.
Yeah.
Let me jump in. Because I love everything that Juanita is saying is the gospel truth. Okay? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. All these things will be added. Okay? He doesn't waste anything. Causes all things to work together for our good. Okay? Now, here's the part that I want to not even add in, because Juanita said it, but I don't want you to miss it. I want to reemphasize. The goal is not the husband.
Yeah.
The goal is Jesus.
Yeah.
Notice when Juanita said that there was an instruction that she got to leave what she had, and then there was a time in between when she met me. The time in between is reserved for Jesus.
Right. Yeah.
She wasn't in between looking for me.
Right.
She was in between looking for him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And when you have him, you have everything. Even if she never met me, even if she never had a husband, she would be whole, healthy, healed by herself.
Right. Yeah.
She wasn't looking to be fulfilled.
Right.
And Jesus has to be your goal.
Yes, that's good.
Jesus has to be your focus, because you can get a husband and still not be fulfilled.
Right.
You can get a husband and still not have all the boxes checked.
Yes.
You can get a husband and he could be jacked up like me sometimes.
Yeah.
He could be jacked up. You know what I'm saying? He could check all the other boxes and then there'd just be one missing.
Yeah.
You know? The point is, I want to, when you are led by him, when you are following him, he may lead you into a wilderness, but in the wilderness, he'll provide for you.
Yeah.
He's not going to lead you to any place that he hasn't already provided for you in it.
Right. Yeah.
Or has provision for you in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first step was acknowledging the fact that there is a risk involved.
Yeah.
The second step, we kind of went off on a tangent, but it was a good one. Okay. It is the decisions that you make within your marriage that determine the health of your marriage. Okay. This is why I say, if there's an unwillingness in your dating, don't get married.
Right.
If there's an unwillingness to work it out, because in marriage, you're stuck. You know? And I say that in the most beautiful way, because it's a beautiful stuck together.
Yeah.
Right? But it's going to suck if one person is going that way and the other person is going the opposite direction.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? Y'all got to be working hard to figure out how to get back together.
Right.
And this is where the decisions that you make come into play. Let's say, for example, one person in the couple is a party animal, life of the party. And I don't mean in a negative way. They just like to go out. Other person is like a homebody, right? And it's causing friction. Okay? You don't have to solely turn from who you are.
Right.
Other person doesn't solely have to turn from who they are. But y'all do have to figure out how to get back on the same page.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's say someone is a big spender, not as strict on their budget. Other person is frugal, Mr. or Mrs. Frugality, right? I'm not saying you got to save every dollar that you earn.
Yeah.
Live your life, have fun, but at the same time, we do need to be thinking about retirement. Right. We do need to be thinking about our Roth IRAs and IRAs and, you know, the future, future plans and stuff. How do we get back here?
Yeah.
If in your dating you don't see an opportunity, or if in your dating there are not if in your dating when you guys have challenges and you are both not adamant about getting back here, getting back together, biggest red flag. Yeah. Yeah. This can alleviate the fear of divorce. Yeah. When there is an unwillingness, and it's not even, here we go, because I know some of y'all are thinking, well, he don't see it my way. She don't see it my way. No, it's not even necessarily about seeing it your way and doing it your way. It's a willingness to see each other's perspective.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
Because you can't be the one that's so gung-ho and living in your point of view that you are disregarding your partner's point of
Right.
view.
Yeah.
You should be willing to hear it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with it, you should be willing to listen.
Yeah.
You should honor them enough to give them your ear, your honest respect and attention.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree.
Yeah.
Right? You guys should be willing to find the common ground. Okay? If in your dating, y'all can't get back here, don't even think about getting married.
Yeah. Yet. Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Because in marriage, you have to be willing to humble yourself.
Yeah. And so then you guys can go to like marriage counseling, or you can get some support or some tools to be able to get you to the place where you feel like, okay, I'm going back here. Because here's the thing, right? Like, we're not saying that you have to know everything there is to know about marriage to get married, or to have every like tool of communication or everything going the right way, right? Because like there are going to be a lot of things that you do learn in your marriage about, oh, I don't actually communicate that well, or oh, I need to be better in this area. But what Jordan is saying at the bottom line is just the willingness. That's different. Like, your spouse may not be perfect and they may have a lot of flaws, but if they're willing, one, to acknowledge it, and then two, to get the help, and three, to apply the help, then that's good.
Yes.
But if they're not even willing to see, oh, I'm wrong, or willing to say, oh, let's get some more help, that is a red flag.
Yes.
Because then what you're saying is, in our dating, in our courting, in our engagement, if I'm not willing to do that, then how much more am I going to be willing to do it when I get married? That's the thing. Marriage doesn't fix things. Okay? What it does is it takes a magnifying glass and it makes it bigger.
It illuminates.
So it doesn't take away problems. Okay? It doesn't make them smaller, it makes them bigger. It magnifies them. And so when you think about the little small things that you see in your dating, or small things you see in your engagement, and you're married and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I didn't think that was a big deal. No, it was a big deal. You just was so happy to get married, which is not a problem, right? But you just have to recognize those things and be able to say, hey, listen, like, what are some things that we can do to move forward in a more healthy way? And I'll leave you with this. I saw this video on social media, I think it was yesterday or today, about a woman, and she was telling a testimony, which is basically like a story about something that God did for her. And so she was saying how when she got married to her husband, he was an atheist. And if you don't know what that is, it's someone who doesn't believe in a God, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so she wasn't necessarily like a believer either, but in their marriage, the Lord started to work on her heart, and she became a believer. And she was so terrified. Like, she was so scared, because she was like, how can I like still love him the way that I do, but knowing that I'm a believer and he doesn't believe in anything. And so she went on to basically say that the Lord ended up changing her husband as well. And she didn't know that when God was working on her heart, he was also working on his heart. And so you see at the end, like, you kind of see their whole change. Like, in the first picture, they're like dark and gloomy and all this other stuff. And then their last picture, like, you can literally see the light of the Lord on them. And so I wanted to leave you with that, because sometimes people think that like the impossible is literally impossible. But like, with God, all things are possible. And that's scripture. And so I want you to know, and it's not to say like, oh, just marry whoever you want because the Lord's going to change them. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that nothing is too hard for God.
There you go.
So when you are in these situations, when you're in your marriage and you say to yourself, oh my God, my partner's just not changing. They're just not willing. They're just not, getting to that point that we both need to be on so that we can move forward. The Lord can do anything.
Yeah.
He can change the heart of your spouse. He can encourage them. He can, teach them. He can show them the way.
Yeah.
He can soften their heart. Like, he can do those things. And so what I would like to say to you is to do your part and allow the Lord to do his part.
Yeah. Lastly, I'm going to close it with saying, similarly to what Juanita said, and that is the fear of divorce is disassembled, eradicated The fear of divorce is disassembled through earnest devotion. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The fear of divorce, breaking up, splitting up, is thwarted, is dismantled
Yeah.
through the level of your devotion. Okay?
Mm.
Your devotion to God. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because when things are rocky between you guys, worship or time spent with God will be like a mirror to
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you are familiar with the scriptures, Isaiah 6, he's in the throne room, has the vision of the throne room. He sees the seraphim, he sees the altar, he sees the fire, the smoke, all of that stuff, right? But then he says, woe unto me, for I'm a man of unclean lips. He sees all these things. He sees the presence of God, how holy he is. Watch, but then he sees himself.
Mm-hmm.
He sees the dichotomy of the holiness of God and the uncleanliness of himself.
Yeah.
And this is a prophet of God, OT prophet,
Mm-hmm.
Old Testament prophet,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Ground was opening up for jokers. It was a different time,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Ground's still opening up, but nevertheless. The point that I'm getting to is when you're in the presence of God, when you're in devotion,
Yeah.
you see yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? And when you see yourself, it's hard to point the finger.
Yes.
It's hard to say, oh, well, she did it.
Right.
Oh, well, he
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
When you see yourself, you'll start to see what needs to change in order to enhance
Yeah.
y'all's relationship.
Yeah.
One of the things for me that I noticed early on is that I am a very, you don't have to guess with me. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to guess. And while I think that that is not inherently bad, sometimes the way in which I had gone about it, especially with the people that I love, like Juanita, may be off-putting.
Yeah.
There's only but so much of that one would be willing to take, even if she did commit to me for the rest of her life.
Right. Yeah.
And so I have to make
Mm-hmm.
that change.
Mm-hmm.
Juanita has nothing to do with that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? Even if she told me, or which I'm pretty sure she did, this is, work in progress. This is over time, right?
Yeah.
I think I've gotten a lot better at it. Hopefully, I've gotten a lot better at it, right? But even if Juanita brings it up to me, I have to be willing to drop the rope.
Right. Yeah.
The tug of war, relinquish control.
Right. Yes.
Carry my cross.
Yes.
See what I'm responsible for, who I am, like Isaiah 6, woe unto me. I'm a man of unclean lips. I'm a sinner, right? I didn't get it right in this area. I'm paying the bills, but yeah, my tone was a little off then. I have to be willing to relinquish that, reconcile, watch this, and change.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things you can see in your dating.
Yeah.
If y'all just acting like stuff gonna get better and y'all done had a rocky 3 months and y'all ain't talked about it,
Right.
red flag.
Yeah.
Do not get married to that person.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have a child together. God will take care of your child. You're not a better parent than he is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you want your relationship to thrive in marriage, these are the things that are necessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Divorce, the fear of divorce, is dismantled by your level of devotion.
Yeah.
Because you'll see yourself in the presence of God. Watch. Oh, this is so good. And you'll see your spouse how God sees your spouse.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't dare disrespect a friend's child who you have a good relationship with.
Yeah.
You wouldn't dare disrespect somebody's daughter who you know and you claim to love.
Yeah.
Not intentionally. You wouldn't dare disrespect somebody's son when you see how loved they are by their father and you have a good relationship with their father. You wouldn't dare do it intentionally.
Right.
And that's what it is. You've got to get more time spent in the presence of God. You have to. There's no substitute. That's why even now in our marriage, God is head above everything.
Mm-hmm.
God is more important to me than Juanita.
Yeah.
God is more important to Juanita than me.
Yeah.
There is no us
Yeah.
without that first. Okay? I know that may sound a little off-putting, but please hear what I'm saying and not what I'm not saying. Sometimes, most times, the solution will require you to have to relinquish your control.
Mm-hmm.
It's necessary. Divorce is not in your blood. It's not in your DNA. Don't believe that lie.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a thriving marriage. You can be the first in your family to have a long-lasting, thriving, healthy marriage.
Yeah.
I don't care if you haven't seen it before. I don't care if the truth is everybody in your family gets divorced. I was having a conversation. Listen, I was having a conversation with somebody a while ago. They were talking about how all the women in her family get divorced. I'm like, she was talking about generational curse. I'm like, okay, even if it is true, even if it is a generational curse, curses are meant to be broken. Break the curse.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is, do something different.
Right, yeah.
The curse has no power if you don't feed that joker.
Mm-hmm.
You feeding it, starve it.
Right. Yeah.
Get in your prayer closet, starve it.
Yeah.
Get in your Bible, starve it.
Yeah.
You two together, starve that thing.
Yeah, that's good.
And be who the Lord has called you to be.
Yeah.
I'm done, y'all. Got me hyped.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Listen. Let's have what God has intended for us to have.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes.
Let's be who God has called us to be.
Yeah.
Divorce is not hereditary. I'm done. Any announcements, woman of God?
Nope. That's all we got for you
all
today.
We got. And we got a special announcement coming soon. Y'all ain't ready though. It's gonna be big. Y'all ready? If you ready, put "I'm ready" in the comment section.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
All that good stuff.
Yes, guys. Leave some comments for us. Let us know if you enjoyed this episode.
Indeed.
Let us know if you have any other topics that you want us to cover. Any other questions you have for us. Just let us know.
Indeed.
Okay. We want to help you out here. So help us help you.
Indeed. All right, y'all. My name is Jordan.
And I'm Juanita.
And this is Love Does Cost a Thing. You already know. We'll catch you next week.